Chapter 1. The Clipboard at My Gate. At exactly 9:02 a.m., the air shifted. Birds stopped chirping. My coffee cooled. The neighborhood entered Karen alert level orange. "Excuse me," came the clip voice. "We need to talk." I turned to see her, Karen, our HOA enforcer, standing at the edge of my lawn like it personally insulted her. She pointed at the fence I'd just finished building. "That fence," she said coldly, "is not in the spirit of Willow Creek. It's in the spirit of self-preservation," I replied. She pulled out her laminated clipboard like it was a sacred text. "It sends a negative message." I smiled. Exactly. Chapter 2. Why I Built It. I moved to Willow Creek 6 months ago. Cute houses, nice people, and one very loud, judgmental neighbor. Karen. My introduction to her HOA style came fast. Warning for excessively joyful whistling. Citation for rebelliously large pumpkins. Official note taped to my door. "Your welcome mat is misleading." I tried everything. Smiling, silence, even offering her banana bread. Nothing worked, until I discovered peace came in 6-foot cedar planks. I built the fence on a Saturday. By Sunday, birds were chirping again, and not drowned out by unsolicited opinions. Chapter 3. The Official Threat. On Monday it came, a formal HOA letter. Subject: Unapproved structure violation. The recent installation of a wooden perimeter fence violates Section 7C of the Willow Creek HOA guidelines. It disrupts neighborhood unity and presents an unfriendly tone. Please remove within 7 days or face a fine of $75 per day. I printed a second copy, added gold foil, framed it, and hung it in my hallway. Then I posted a photo of the fence online with the caption, "The anti-Karen wall is complete. May her voice never echo here again." By nightfall, it had 117 comments and a hashtag, "Russian Fence Off Freedom." Chapter 4. The Petition Begins. Tara, my across-the-street neighbor, amateur baker, full-time gossip, showed up with snacks and a plan. "Petition," she said. "For what?" "To keep the fence. People love it. Karen doesn't. That's usually a win." We canvassed the street. Signatures poured in. "It blocks her rants." My toddler naps better now. Finally, peace during hot yoga. By the end of the day, 43 neighbors had signed a petition titled, "Keep the Fence, Keep the Peace." We uploaded it to the HOA community portal. The post was flagged within 5 minutes by Karen. Chapter 5. Karen's Meltdown in Technicolor. She called an emergency HOA meeting. We expected a tantrum. What we got was a TED Talk of doom. Title: Fences, Division in Domestic America. Slide 1. A stock image of a crying child next to a picket fence. Slide 2. A chart showing sense of community plummeting post-fence. Slide 3. A blurry photo of my fence with the caption, "Aggression in cedar form." I stood and asked, "Is this satire?" Karen: "This is civilization." Tara livestreamed it. By morning, it had 22,000 views and the title, HOA Karen versus the Fence, a tragedy in 4 planks. Chapter 6. The Miniature Fence Incident. The next morning, Karen's mailbox was surrounded by a tiny wooden picket fence, about a foot high. No one saw who did it, but it had a little sign that read, "Caution may contain unwanted opinions." Karen screamed so loud the mailman dropped his entire route bag. She called it symbolic vandalism. I called it a community art installation. Chapter 7. The Legal Letter Bomb. It came in a manila envelope hand-delivered to my mailbox, sealed with a red HOA stamp and a sticky note that read, "For your immediate attention, KL." Inside, a legal cease and desist order issued by Karen's personal lawyer, or rather her nephew who just passed the bar and owns exactly one blazer. The letter accused me of visual hostility, creating a culture of division via lumber, deliberate obstruction of natural HOA acoustics. She was suing me in municipal small claims court for $2,500 in aesthetic damages and emotional unrest. "I think she just made up the term HOA acoustics," Tara said, reading over my shoulder. "It's Karen. If she didn't invent it, she copyrighted it." Chapter 8. The Silent Block Party. The next Saturday, Willow Creek held the first ever silent block party, a full-scale gathering of neighbors in absolute beautiful quiet. No music, no speeches, no bouncing houses, just lawn chairs. Silent snacks. Big signs that read, "Thank you for the fence. Now we hear birds." Honk if Karen ever shouted at you. Drivers honked a lot. Shh. Icky. I made matching t-shirts for everyone. On the back, property value, Karen decibels. Even Ms. Patel brought a tambourine and didn't shake it once. When Karen peeked through her blinds and saw it all, she screamed, "You can't protest quietly. That's manipulative." Which, of course, everyone heard, thanks to the absence of other noise. Tara whispered, "She just proved your point." Chapter 9. The Interview. On Monday, I got a call from a local news station. Reporter, "We heard about the fence, and the silent protest, and the mailbox fence." I laughed. "Which part are you covering?" "All of it. We're calling it Cedar versus Screamer, when suburbia snaps." The reporter arrived the next day and did a full segment on the front lawn. I wore a Free the Fence cap. Tara wore sunglasses and answered every question like a seasoned press secretary. The story aired that night. Karen appeared in the background of 3 shots, glaring from behind her hydrangeas like a villain in soft focus. Online comments exploded. "Team Fence. How loud does a person have to be to get a whole neighborhood to unite? Not all heroes wear capes. Some build fences." Chapter 10. Karen's campaign begins. Karen went into full counterattack mode. She created a new HOA subcommittee, CRAFT, Citizens for Respectful Aesthetic Fence Traditions. She started distributing pamphlets with phrases like, "A fence today is a wall tomorrow. Togetherness starts with visibility." What are they really trying to hide behind that wood? She tried to convince neighbors to join her cause. 3 people did. One left after 5 minutes because she yelled at him for sneezing during her speech. I caught her stapling "Down with Walls" flyers to my actual fence. When I confronted her, she snapped, "The fence is separating us emotionally." I pointed to Tara and Ms. Patel, drinking iced tea peacefully just feet away on my side. "We've never been closer," I said. Chapter 11. HOA Court Showdown. Karen dragged me to the HOA arbitration hearing. She came in hot. Slideshow, blazer, a full-color bar graph of community vibe levels pre- and post-fence. She brought in her nephew lawyer again, who dramatically declared, "This fence represents suburban tyranny cloaked in cedar." I stood, cleared my throat, and simply handed the board a petition with 64 neighbor signatures and a letter from Ms. Patel's ENT stating her tinnitus improved 40% since the fence went up. Then I played a 10-second audio clip from before the fence, labeled, "Karen yelling at a butterfly for hovering suspiciously." The HOA president winced. "I rest my case," I said. Karen exploded, literally screamed, "No one appreciates boundaries anymore." The room was silent. Then Tara coughed and muttered, "Exactly." Chapter 12. Karen's New Angle. The Spiritual Argument. 2 days after losing at the HOA arbitration, Karen pivoted. She began telling anyone who would listen that the fence had created a spiritual energy blockage. "Willow Creek used to flow with positive chai," she announced during her solo morning yoga session on the HOA Facebook page. Live streamed in grainy 480p. Now, she claimed, my fence had cut the ley lines, disrupted chakra equilibrium, and caused 3 neighborhood cats to stop using their litter boxes. Tara texted me the clip with the caption, "She's gone full ghost whisperer." I replied, "How long before she hires a feng shui exorcist?" 12 hours, as it turns out. Chapter 13. The Sage Burning Ritual. Forti. Toyoe Kapkar. At exactly 7:06 p.m., Karen was spotted waving bundles of burning sage along the perimeter of my fence while chanting something that sounded like, "No walls, only oneness." The scent was so strong it set off Jenkins' carbon monoxide detector. Then the HOA security patrol, yes, we had one, mostly for show, showed up. They politely asked her to stop trying to cleanse property she doesn't own. Karen turned to them and shouted, "I am cleansing the community's energy." One of the guards called for backup. The other one took a selfie with Marshmallow the bunny, who was watching from her hutch like a judge on a reality show. By 7:30, Karen was back in her house, still yelling, but now muffled, thanks to the fence. Chapter 14. Fence Meditation Night. In response, Tara organized Fence Meditation Night. It was part solidarity, part trolling, part very real group therapy. Everyone brought yoga mats, candles, sesoriumons, noise-canceling headphones, a portable projector showing images of serene forests and the word boundaries floating gently in cursive. We sat in silence next to the fence for 45 minutes. Karen paced behind her curtains like a caged HOA tiger. At exactly minute 39, she opened her window and shrieked, "You're weaponizing stillness." No one flinched. Someone struck a singing bowl. Chapter 15, National Coverage. 3 days later, the fence made national news. The headline on BuzzTide, "One Fence, One Woman, and a Whole Lot of Noise. The Most Suburban War of 2025. The article included a dramatic reenactment of the HOA hearing, featuring actors and a very intense woman playing Karen, an interview with me, Tara, and Marshmallow, an audio sample labeled "Before the Fence, After the Fence," complete with decibel readings. People across the country started commenting, "I live in HOA hell. Can I borrow this fence? Respect the wood. Suwa one chance. Team Cedar." Karen responded by issuing a formal press disavowal statement on the HOA forum, calling the article biased, defamatory, and spiritually reckless. She then accused the fence of causing crows to roost in her trees, calling it a dark omen. Tara started making merch, shirts, stickers, mugs that said, "This fence blocks negativity and Karen." Chapter 16, The Great HOA Hearing, Round 2. Karen, undeterred by public opinion, filed for a second HOA hearing, this time invoking a clause none of us had heard of. Section 9F, Environmental and Energetic Disturbances. Apparently, it allowed residents to request removal of visual structures that interfere with natural or emotional harmony. Her exhibit included photos of wilting plants on the fence line, a Google map edited with arrows showing energy blockage zones, a testimonial from her cousin in Oregon who once took a Reiki class. The board president sighed. "Karen, this clause hasn't been enforced since 2002, and it was about a man who painted his house glow-in-the-dark green." She stood tall. "This is worse." The board allowed closing statements. "Karen, this fence does not just block views, it blocks souls. Me. It blocks yelling." The vote, unanimous. The fence stays. Chapter 17. Bribery by Gift Card. Karen's newest strategy was bold. Instead of yelling, she went door to door with gift cards. Yes, actual bribes. "I'm offering a $15 Panera card," she said sweetly to Ms. Patel, "in exchange for your signature on a petition to have that eyesore removed." Ms. Patel blinked. "Panera's all right, but that fence keeps me from hearing you scream at clouds. That's priceless." Karen smiled thinly. "You prefer wood to warmth?" "No, I prefer silence to slander." Door closed. Over the next 2 days, Karen burned through 27 Panera cards, 11 Starbucks cards, 4 local donut vouchers. Total number of signatures gained? 2. One of them was from a guy who moved out last week. Chapter 18. Karen versus reality TV. Then came the news that turned everything sideways. A reality TV producer contacted Tara. Apparently, someone from the HOA Facebook group leaked our story pitch to a local production company working on a show called HOA Wars, Love Thy Neighbor or Not. They wanted to feature us in season 2. Karen refused. "This is not entertainment," she shouted during a board meeting. "This is a battle for moral landscaping." The producer loved it. "She's perfect. She's like if Martha Stewart had rage issues and a Bluetooth headset." Karen launched a counter-campaign titled, "Say No to Exploiting Suburbia." But secretly, she set up a Ring camera with a sign, "All footage copyrighted. Inquire for licensing." Chapter 19. The Fence Trend. The turning point came when Jenkins, our most fence-neutral neighbor, built his own fence. It wasn't even for privacy. He just liked the quiet. He installed a 4-foot wooden fence, painted it pastel blue, and called it My Calm Barrier. Ms. Patel followed suit, building a shorter one with hanging planters that spelled, Namaste and back off. Suddenly, fences became a neighborhood aesthetic. The HOA tried to push back, but then the mail carrier said his delivery times improved because fewer residents were yelling about things. Even Amazon left a comment on Nextdoor. Best stop on our route. Quiet, organized, surprisingly spiritual. Karen began to unravel. Chapter 20. Desperate Measures. She filed one last formal complaint to the city zoning office, this time citing visual distress, Greek guitar, groupthink architecture, an outbreak of what I call fence fever. The city inspector came by, walked the block, shrugged. Looks great. Property values are up 12% in 6 months. Karen lost it. She started yelling in front of her own house. You're all sheep, wooden sheep. Tara came outside wearing a t-shirt that read, "Bah" means don't talk to me. Karen stormed back indoors. Her Ring camera caught it all. It went viral with the caption, "Live footage of HOA queen losing to fences." Chapter 21. Karen's Garage Manifesto. Then came the final twist of the week. A neighbor's drone, okay, Jenkins' nephew's drone, captured footage of Karen inside her garage, pacing in front of a whiteboard. Written across it in angry red marker, "The walls will fall." Below it, a flowchart. Recruit allies, remind them of HOA code. 14B, threaten property value, eliminate fence culture. Tara printed the image on yard signs. They appeared all over the neighborhood with the phrase, "We're not scared of the walls, we're scared of Karen without them." The HOA tried to intervene, but the board president simply said, "Honestly, the fences have made my weekends better. My dog stopped hiding." Chapter 22. Karen Goes National. It was bound to happen. After her failed campaigns, rejected petitions, and general spiral into fence-induced infamy, Karen finally did what she was born to do. Book a morning show appearance. She landed a segment on Good Morning Suburbia under the headline, HOA Hero or Holiday Hater, the fence fight dividing Willow Creek. She showed up in full glory, blazer with lapel pin that said respect boundaries but not physical ones, glossy clipboard, a mug that read, "I run this cul-de-sac." The interviewer asked, "So, Karen, what is it about this fence that you find so offensive?" Karen inhaled dramatically and replied, "It's not just a fence, it's a metaphorical wall, a symptom of a larger epidemic of antisocial design." The interviewer blinked. "You mean privacy?" "Exactly, and too much wood." Chapter 23. The clip that broke the internet. The moment that broke her wasn't what she said. It was what she didn't realize she was doing. At one point, she lifted her clipboard to emphasize a point and accidentally revealed the backside, which had a handwritten list titled, "Enemies of Harmony," names included, me, Tara, Marshmallow with a bunny doodle and a frowny face. The internet caught it instantly. Someone zoomed in, cleaned up the footage, and set it to the mission. Impossible theme. It went viral in 5 hours. Trending hashtags, Rashiksh clipboard gate, Shananimimun, Sir free marshmallow. Another second, there's too much wood. Even late-night hosts joked about it. Imagine being so annoying that your entire neighborhood builds barriers just to mute your personality. Chapter 24. The Fence Festival. To celebrate her invisibility, Tara organized the first annual Fence Festival. Posters went up everywhere. Noise-free since Cedar arrived. Come celebrate the sound of sanity. There were booths, games, even pin the shush on the Karen. Events included silent disco, wireless headphones only, a mini fence building workshop for kids, a dramatic reenactment of the HOA hearing. Jenkins played Karen with a glitter clipboard. Best part, a food truck called Grill the Chill served sliders with names like Peaceful Patty, Don't Fence Me and Burger, Karen Free Ketchup Only. Even Beverly, the HOA president, showed up wearing a shirt that read, HOA in happiness over aggression. Karen, of course, stood across the street, arms folded, filming silently. Her video title, Fence Festival, a Cult in Real Time. Chapter 25. The Realtor Revelation. A week after Fence Fest, a black SUV rolled into the neighborhood. Out stepped a clean-cut man in business casual and very polished shoes. He introduced himself as Craig with Crestline Realty. Someone forwarded me the viral clips, he said, and I had to see this place for myself. He toured the block, talked to neighbors, filmed a few testimonials. 3 days later, a listing went up. Willow Creek, the quietest cul-de-sac in the county, featuring upgraded fences, low decibel living, and a community bunny named Marshmallow. Property values jumped 9% in 2 weeks. Karen filed an official complaint that the listing was glamorizing architectural oppression. The city response? We love it. We're considering modeling other developments after your block. She went pale. Chapter 26. The HOA votes. After multiple complaints, 5 HOA violations of her own, and her most recent act, spray painting down with timber on her own garage, Karen was called to a formal hearing. This time, she wasn't the accuser. The HOA board deliberated for exactly 22 minutes. Then Beverly announced, Karen L. is hereby suspended from all HOA leadership activities for a period of 6 months, pending behavioral review and community feedback. Karen stood up slowly, eyes narrowed, voice shaking. You've all turned against me, but when the fences fall, I'll be waiting. She walked out. Tara whispered, should we build a new one around her house? Chapter 27. The anonymous account. 2 weeks after Karen's HOA suspension, the neighborhood finally exhaled. There were more smiles, more dogs on leashes, fewer flyers on doorknobs. Then, weird things started appearing on the Willow Creek Community Forum. User HoTruthTeller57 began posting vague, passive-aggressive comments. Examples. Some fences hide more than noise. Think about it. If your neighbors are too quiet, maybe they're plotting. Is the bunny really emotional support or emotional surveillance? Tara rolled her eyes. It's her. That's Karen, with a fake name and fake drama. Jenkins replied on the forum, cool story, 57. Got any proof or just vibes? Within minutes, HoTruthTeller57 posted, only those with something to hide laugh too loudly. To which Ms. Patel replied, lady, my chihuahua farts louder than your arguments. Chapter 28. Karen's digital campaign of chaos. Over the next week, the posts escalated. An anonymous poll asking, should fences be subject to emotional impact reviews? A link to a sketchy article titled, do fences create psychological distance or just property value bubbles? A suspicious thread claiming Tara had once built a fence without a permit in college. The community chat grew tense. Neighbors started whispering, wait, did Alex really sell the fence story to BuzzTide for money? Do you think Tara is profiting from fence merch? Was Marshmallow always this visible? Even I started getting nervous. Could Karen really gaslight an entire block from her living room? Tara called a meeting at her place. We dubbed it Operation Defense the Internet. Chapter 29. The Slip-Up. The breakthrough came from an unlikely hero, Marshmallow. During one quiet afternoon, Marshmallow wandered into Karen's yard. She had a habit of squeezing under fences. Ironic, I know. Karen was out front, talking to someone on Bluetooth, pacing, unaware Marshmallow was nearby, or that Jenkins had just installed a motion-sensing bunny cam in her harness for fun. What it recorded changed everything. Karen, no, I'm telling you, they bought it. HoTruthTeller57? That's me. I even got them to argue about the bunny. The bunny! Then she laughed. The footage auto-synced to Jenkins' phone. He fell off his lawn chair laughing. We uploaded the clip to the neighborhood forum with the caption, Who's afraid of the big bad bunny now? It exploded. Chapter 30. Bunny Justice. The reaction was immediate. Residents were furious. Even the 3 neighbors who had secretly supported Karen's anti-fence petition commented things like, okay, this is next-level petty. I was willing to hear her out until she attacked the rabbit. I want Marshmallow on the HOA board. Beverly called an emergency HOA meeting, not for Karen this time, but for Marshmallow. They voted mostly for fun, but also slightly seriously, to appoint her honorary mascot of Willow Creek. We made her a tiny satin sash that read, Defender of Quiet. Karen, now fully exposed, tried to do damage control. She posted from her real account. This was satire. You people have no sense of nuance. Tara replied, oh, we have nuance. We just also have fences. And a bunny. Chapter 31, The Peace Returns. For the first time in months, the neighborhood felt calm again. No anonymous posts, no drone footage mysteriously circulating, no screaming about feng shui or emotional acoustics. Just kids playing, marshmallow hopping, Jenkins repainting his fence with positive energy quotes in Comic Sans. Tara designed stickers for every house with a fence. They said, noise-free zone, officially marshmallow approved. Even Beverly got one. Karen, meanwhile, was notably quiet. Not a word, not a post, just an occasional twitch of the curtain. And to be honest, that silence was worth every plank. Chapter 32, The Return of the Karen, Soft Edition. It started with a folded note slipped under every door. Printed on pale pink stationery with gold leaf trim, it read, Dear neighbors, I invite you to a public gathering in the Willow Creek Commons. No complaints, no clipboards, just conversation. Let us rebuild what fences have broken. Warmly, Karen. Tara was immediately suspicious. She wrote no complaints, which is basically like a vampire saying, I won't bite. Still, curiosity got the best of us. At 6 p.m. sharp, every resident showed up, cautiously. Karen stood on a small platform, dressed in beige linen, holding a reusable water bottle and speaking softly into a wireless mic. I come in peace, she began. I've reflected, I've learned. I've realized that yelling may not always be productive. The crowd shifted, confused. Was this real? Then came the turn. Chapter 33. The Harmonization Initiative. I propose, Karen said, smiling like she practiced in front of a mirror. A new vision for Willow Creek, one without fences, one with shared green space, one where we can wave to each other over tasteful shrubbery. She called it the Harmonization Initiative. It sounded peaceful, reasonable, until she revealed the plan: replace fences with community partition garden trellises, mandatory weekly HOA mediation walks, a shared compost system named Unity Bin, an HOA vote to limit fence height to 18 inches max and ban visual obstruction materials. The room fell silent. Ms. Patel raised her hand. What's a visual obstruction material? Karen, cedar, bamboo, treated pine, thick hedges, certain kinds of optimism. Tara whispered, she just proposed reverse gentrification, but for peace. Chapter 34. The neighborhood reacts. The next day, the HOA forum was on fire. Posts included, Unity Bin, more like passive-aggressive dumpster. I like my optimism thick, thanks. Raise your hand if your fence helped you avoid Karen-induced therapy bills. Jenkins posted a poll. Do you support the Harmonization Initiative? Results after 24 hours. No, 97%. Yes, 2%. One was probably Karen, the other was a bot. Undecided, 1%. Marshmallow sat on the keyboard again. Despite the backlash, Karen went door to door with brochures. They had quotes like, why hide when we can harmonize? She got 3 doors slammed in her face, 2 eye rolls, and 1 neighbor who said, Lady, I just want a barbecue without commentary. Chapter 35, Fence Festival. For the future. That weekend, we fought back the best way we knew how, joyfully and with banners. Tara, fueled by caffeine and righteous spite, announced, Welcome to the 2nd annual Fence Festival. Tuong Rao Cho Tuong Lai. It had fence decorating competitions, quiet zone karaoke, everyone lip-synced, a kids build your own fence activity, a bunny bounce house, marshmallow supervised. Every home with a fence got a tiny solar lantern with the words, This is more than wood, it's peace. The pièce de résistance, a projection on the side of my house showing a time-lapse of the fence saga, ending with, Let peace be built, one board at a time. Karen showed up late, stared for 5 minutes, then walked away, silently. Chapter 36. Karen Lawyering. It started with a certified letter. Not just any letter. This one was printed on linen paper, embossed in gold, and smelled faintly of lavender and ego. Inside, to whom it may concern, our client, Ms. Karen L., believes your erected fences violate municipal code Section 127B, and HOA Bylaw 4D. Failure to dismantle said structures within 14 days will result in legal action seeking monetary damages for visual, acoustic, and emotional harm. Sincerely, Randolph and Pierce, attorneys at law. Tara nearly choked on her croissant. She got lawyers, fancy ones, who use words like erected and emotional harm. I raised an eyebrow. Did she not remember she co-wrote Bylaw 4D? Spoiler alert, she did not. Chapter 37, Digging into the Bylaws. Beverly, our HOA president, pulled out the sacred scrolls, aka the HOA rulebook Karen helped write in 2018. Bylaw 4D read, fencing styles shall be regulated only in instances where they impede safety, violate setback lines, or are proven to decrease surrounding property value by 10% or more. Which meant our fences, safe. Setbacks, approved. Property values, up 12.4% according to Zillow and one very smug real estate agent. Oops, but it got better. Bylaw 5A, also written by Karen, added, decorative fencing used as sound buffering shall be encouraged in high disruption zones. Guess who was marked in the 2019 HOA noise survey as the primary source of high disruption? Yep, Karen. Chapter 38, The Lawyer Who Switched Sides. At the HOA hearing, Karen arrived with her lawyer, Mr. Randolph Pierce, a slick-haired man with cufflinks that probably cost more than my fence. He opened with a dramatic speech. What is a neighborhood if not the sum of its openness? He cited cases from 2006, waved at footnotes, even called Marshmallow's fence badge emotional manipulation. Then we handed him the rulebook, specifically the bylaws Karen herself wrote. Randolph squinted, then said, Ms. L., is this your handwriting in the margin? Fence-friendly for noise zones. Karen's face froze. Beverly leaned into her mic. Mr. Pierce, do you wish to proceed with a case that would essentially argue against your own client's documented policies? There was a pause. Then Pierce adjusted his tie and said, No, ma'am. In fact, I may need to speak with Miss L privately about misrepresentation. Karen gasped. Are you turning on me? Pierce replied, I bill by the hour, and I don't do irony for free. Chapter 39, A Letter from City Hall. The week after the hearing, we got a surprise from the city. A letter from the Department of Community Design and Noise Mitigation. Yes, that's real. Congratulated Willow Creek for successful implementation of non-invasive residential sound solutions, leading to a 45% drop in domestic complaint calls. The city even offered to feature us in a pilot program for peaceful urban living zones. Karen tried to argue the city had been manipulated by fence propaganda, but her credibility was, well, buried under cedar planks and bunny badges. Chapter 40, Karen's lawn sale and final statement. And then quietly, without warning, it happened. Karen held a lawn sale. She put out 3 clipboards, used but still terrifying, 27 pamphlets labeled, How to Spot Fence Culture, a framed quote that said, Rules bring righteousness. Only one person stopped by, Jenkins. He bought the quote frame and replaced righteousness with regret. Then Karen taped a sign to her door, Gone to regroup, but never defeated. By nightfall, she was gone. No goodbye, no megaphone, no Facebook rant, just silence. And oh, how beautiful it was. Chapter 41, The Karen Vacuum. After Karen's quiet departure, peace settled over Willow Creek like a gentle fog of scented candle. Mailboxes stood uninspected. Lawns grew a quarter-inch longer without drama. Nobody used the word aesthetic violation for a whole month. Ms. Patel hosted a backyard movie night. Jenkins built a second fence just because he could. Tara started a podcast, Quiet Streets, Loud Winds. We called it the Fence Age. It was glorious, until someone new joined the community forum. Username, FenceWatcher225. Their first post? Wood is temporary. Harmony is eternal. More soon. Chapter 42. Suspicion takes root. At first we laughed. Probably a troll, Tara shrugged, or Karen's cousin from Arizona. But then came more posts. Noise control is not silence, it's structure. Is your fence really about peace, or are you hiding? The real walls are between us. By post number 5, people were side-eyeing each other in the dog park. Jenkins started calling every shadow a digital Karen. Then the kicker: a comeback is not always loud. Sometimes it's in code. Watch the forum. Watch the fences. The post was signed, K Chapter 43. The algorithm unmasked. Tara went into hacker mode. With some tech magic, and possibly Marshmallow walking across her keyboard, she traced the metadata on FenceWatcher 2025's posts. Her analysis showed the posts originated from an IP address registered to a mobile hotspot. The hotspot was last seen near the edge of Willow Creek at a house currently for rent. Guess what popped up on Zillow that week? Charming suburban home with powerful Wi-Fi, questionable vibes. Photos revealed a familiar hydrangea bush and a shadow of someone in the window holding something square. Tara enhanced it. Yep, clipboard. Chapter 44. The neighborhood strikes back. We didn't wait this time. The next morning, the entire neighborhood coordinated a fence solidarity march. We walked single file silently from one end of Willow Creek to the other, each of us carrying a plank of wood, a tiny sign that said "Still Standing," and Marshmallow in a tiny wooden chariot. We stopped outside the rental. We waved. No one came out, but the blinds moved. That night, a final post appeared. Message received, for now. K. Then the account vanished. Chapter 45. The fence lives on. In the following weeks, fence decorating classes were offered at the community center. Jenkins launched a YouTube channel, Fence Talk with Frank. Marshmallow was featured on a local pet calendar. Silent guardians of suburbia. Karen never officially returned, but every once in a while someone spotted her Prius circling the block. Windows tinted, clipboard-shaped object in the passenger seat, but she never stopped, never yelled, never posted, because she knew something she never understood before. You can scream all you want, but in Willow Creek, the fences always win. Chapter 46. Peace Day declared. 3 months after the last appearance of FenceWatcher 2025, Willow Creek was reborn. The HOA voted unanimously to institute a new neighborhood tradition, Fence Peace Day, celebrated annually on the anniversary of the original installation of The Wall That Silenced the Storm. Tara made flyers. Ms. Patel composed a poem titled Ode to Cedar. Jenkins built a fence-shaped fountain. Don't ask how, it's just a thing of plumbing magic. The mayor himself came to cut the ribbon and declared, "Let this fence remind us that healthy boundaries make for happy neighbors." Local news covered it under the headline, Suburb Chooses Wood Over War. Chapter 47. Karen reappears, sort of. Just as the celebration was reaching its peak, live band playing acoustic covers of ironic hits like Don't Fence Me In, a silver Prius pulled up at the edge of the park. We knew it before we saw her. Karen. She stepped out. No clipboard, no yelling. Just a neutral beige scarf, oversized sunglasses, and an unreadable expression. The music stopped. Even Marshmallow tilted her head. Karen slowly walked up to the ceremonial fence line, paused, and spoke. It's a very quiet celebration. Tara walked over, gently handed her a small wooden pin shaped like a fence post. You taught us the value of that, whether you meant to or not. Karen didn't smile, but she didn't scowl either. She looked at the pin, then at the crowd. I never thought I'd be surrounded by so much wood and not hate it. Him with that, she nodded, turned around, and drove away. No drama, no clipboard drop. Just a soft ending. Chapter 48. The future is fenced. Today, Willow Creek thrives. The fences still stand. The HOA hosts Kindness Plus Privacy potlucks. Ms. Patel teaches Zen gardening behind Cedar. Marshmallow now has her own Instagram with 87K followers, Ace Fence Bunny Official. And Karen? We still see her drive by now and then, but she never stops. Maybe she found a new HOA to rule. Or maybe, just maybe, she realized that fences aren't barriers, they're boundaries. And sometimes boundaries save entire neighborhoods.